Today we're going to give you a few tips, tricks, and hacks to possibly get an upgrade to first class or just a better seat or a better experience on your next flight. Let's go talk about it. Hi everyone, John here from Bite Size Travels. Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to give you some tips, tricks, and hacks to get a better seat or a better experience on your next flight. Let's start with our first tip. This is an easy one. You could just use points. If you have points available and you are sitting in economy or you're sitting somewhere where you're not happy about your seat location, you can use points to upgrade. That is a very simplistic approach to doing an upgrade. It's not really a trick or a hack. It is just a way to get a better seat. But keep in mind, you can always use your points to move up or to make it just a better experience for you. Number two, let's talk about loyalty programs. Join the loyalty programs of the airlines. There's a couple things here that you could do. One, you're going to build up your status within whatever one that you join. Once you start building up that status, you can then status match with other airlines. And as you build up and build up and build up, having a high status really gives you opportunities. It might give you unlimited complimentary upgrades. It might give you free drinks or free snacks or free lounge access that gives you great things. But if you join these loyalty programs, you will have opportunities for complimentary upgrades that other people do not have access to, and you will even get earlier boarding times, which sometimes is really nice. I know a lot of people like to rush right up to the gate as soon as group 1 is called and you're in group 7. Everyone likes to just run up and do it. So that'll give you a little tip there. The next one, hold on for a second, let's not do something. I've seen so many videos online of people trying to bribe their way to upgrades. Bringing candy, bringing money, bringing gift cards, bringing all different things for your flight attendants. It is very nice if you want to do that altruistically and just give them, they work very hard. So if you're just being nice and you're giving them something, that's wonderful. Maybe do that when you're getting off the flight and not when you're getting on to try to bribe them for an upgrade. But don't do that. It's not really going to work, and that puts a lot of pressure on somebody. And if a bunch of people are doing that, it's not a great situation. So next up, number 3, you can go up to the gate agent about an hour before boarding and ask them if they need volunteers to get bumped to the next flight. Now, obviously, for this situation, you're going to need to have some time. You need to plan very well if you are going to do this, or you need to be super flexible with when you're going to get on a flight. But you can go up, you can ask if they need volunteers. If they do, you can then negotiate with them. You can talk about what it would take for you to move to the next flight, whether it's some type of credit, whether it's cash, whether it's a hotel stay, if it's a long layover until the next flight. So keep that in mind. That's something that you could do. That one's a little tricky, and you do have to be super, super flexible. Next up, right in line with that, keep an eye out on check-in. When you go to check-in, sometimes they will ask you if your plans are flexible and if you'd like to be considered for being bumped. If you do that, it's going to give you a bid amount. Here's the tip or trick there. Bid the lowest amount. That's not guaranteed that you're going to get charged that, or they're going to give you that amount rather than a larger amount. What it does is when they do start to look for volunteers, which again is that hour, about an hour pre-flight, pre-boarding, they will call you up if you're one of the ones that gave the lowest bid. That then is your opportunity to negotiate, because maybe you put in a bid for $100 and said, hey, I'll take $100 possibly to move to a later flight. When you go up there, they may say, hey, there's a flight in 2 hours. How about, is that $100 credit good? That's an opportunity for you to say, yeah, I'll take the $100, but could you also bump me up to business or first class? I would accept that, or maybe I would just accept that instead of the stipend amount. Or if it's overnight, maybe it's a day later, maybe that's a good place for you to negotiate and say, hey, I'd really like $200 in a hotel. And then you can negotiate and go back and forth, and you're not locked into anything just by giving those options there. But you do get called up first if you have the lowest bid, therefore you get the first opportunity to negotiate. So that's something you can think about and something you can try, and that may just work for you. 2 more here. Next up, you are going to get emails possibly from the airline asking you if you'd like to upgrade. What I do is I fly American a lot. So what I do is just randomly, months ahead of time, I will go into the American Airlines app and I will look at my flight. When I click on my flight, it will pop up and say, would you like to upgrade to first class for X amount of dollars? If that is ever in a reasonable range, and for me it's like 100, I fly domestically a lot, so these are not like 10-hour flights. But if it's in the $100 range, somewhere between $100 and $150 each way, I will seriously consider upgrading to first class. Remember, when you do this, these are immediate. So you are saying, yes, I'm going to upgrade. You're going to pick your seat. You're going to get charged for that upgrade. So something to think about there. You will get some emails from your airline, and you can just go into the app and check it and do that. But remember, those are permanent. If you then cancel, you don't get that money back. Just keep all those things in mind. That is not refundable. There are a bunch of deals with that, so make sure you choose wisely on those. And then last but not least, one of the things that you could do is you can bid on flight upgrades. So if you've ever been on a cruise, you know that cruising does upgrades. What they're doing here is they're banking on the fact that maybe some of these people are going to cancel and not go, and then they're going to auction off to the highest bidder. Of course, it's brilliant, right? So you can bid on these flight upgrades. Just keep in mind, when you bid on them, it is going to ask you for a range, lowest bid, highest bid, whatever it is, and then it's going to become like an auction. So just be careful. Make sure it's in a range that you are comfortable and happy spending. And again, you will get to pick your seats if something's available at that time. It's going to come back to you and say, hey, this is available. You can jump on it there. Those are some tips and tricks to get out of economy and get yourself into business or first class. My last little tip or trick here is keep an eye on all of your flights and all of your air travel. Another thing that you could do if you are comfortable with it is just find a better experience in economy. Sometimes being in a row where you have to help, where there's an evacuation row, you're going to get a ton more legroom there. There are pros and cons of doing that. One, if you just bring like a carry-on and a backpack, there's nowhere to put that backpack. And they don't want you to put those up top. You're kind of taking space away. So if you like to slide things under the seat, row one and each of those, rows where you have to help in the case of an emergency, that is a good indicator of maybe that's not the best for you. If you're just looking for some legroom, you like to get up and move around a little bit, those are, of course, a great option for you, and it gives you a much nicer experience. But remember, you're not going to get the seat in front of you, so you can't like hang your iPad up. It does come with pros and cons. But you can find better economy experiences. Just keep an eye out for those things. Sometimes there is like additional legroom seats, and just a little bit goes a long way sometimes to make your flight experience that much better. Thanks so much for watching. If you're new here, we are a travel agency. Our goal here is just to give you great information about traveling so you can plan and go on an amazing vacation. We would love for you to watch some more of our videos. Come along and subscribe. It doesn't cost you a penny. Thanks so much. Happy travels, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.